Change your life in 30 days before 2026 starts. It's December 2025. You've got exactly 1 month left before we cross into 2026. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people watching this right now are in the exact same place they were at the start of this year. Same routines, same excuses, same goals written down and quietly abandoned. And don't click away. I'm not here to hype you up with fake motivation or sell you some magic success pill. What I am going to do is tell you the truth. Because if you take ownership of the next 30 days, you won't just enter a new year, you'll enter a new identity. I know this because I used to be that guy, living the same year over and over again, changing the calendar, but not changing myself, wondering why I felt stuck, frustrated, behind, while everyone else seemed to be moving forward. And the only thing that changed everything for me was learning how progress actually works. Not motivation, not willpower, a process. So if you're ready to step into the next version of yourself, this is how you change your life in 30 days. Step 1, cut the crap. Let's start here. It's time, as the kids say, to lock in. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're trying to do everything, which means they finish nothing. Think about this. If I asked you to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then immediately say A, B, C, D, E, F, you could do it pretty fast. But if I forced you to go A1, B2, C3, D4, your brain would slow down dramatically. Why? Because context switching kills momentum, and most people live their entire year in A1, B2, C3 mode. Too many goals, too many priorities, too many tabs open in their head. So here's what we're going to do. For the next 30 days, you get one primary outcome. Just one. Ask yourself this, is greater than. If this one thing was handled by the end of the month, is greater than what would change my energy around my life the most. Not 10 things, not your whole life. One thing, more money, better health, fixing a relationship, learning a high value skill. Pick one. Now step 2 inside step 1, choose 2 habits that directly feed that outcome. That's it. Not 5, not a full lifestyle overhaul. 2 habits. If your goal is fitness, movement, and nutrition. If it's money, daily outreach and skill development. If it's peace of mind, sleep and journaling. And now the hard part. You say no to everything else. If it's not a hell yes for that goal, it's a hard no. Learn this sentence and use it often. Is greater than, that doesn't align with my focus right now. Because focus isn't about what you do. It's about what you ignore. Once the overload is gone, clarity shows up. And clarity is power. Step 2, when things are easy, go hard. There are 2 times every year when most people coast. Summer and the holidays. Everyone relaxes. Everyone slows down. Everyone tells themselves they'll start fresh later. That's your opportunity. I learned this from my coach. He calls it separation season. Picture a highway at night. No traffic, no distractions, just open road. That's what December is. And here's how you create separation. First, protect the first 90 minutes of your day. That's your deep work window. No phone, no emails, no scrolling. The first thing you work on each day must be the thing that moves your life forward the most. Not urgent tasks, important ones. That's how you compound progress. Second, skip the party. This one hurts, but it matters. Late nights steal early mornings, and early mornings create winners. Nothing great happens after 9 p.m. anyway. Recovery is part of discipline. Third, pick one weekend day and double down. Weekdays are for execution. Weekends are for becoming better, skill building, reflection, sharpening your edge. That's leverage. Do these 3 things consistently, and you will feel the gap open between you and everyone else. Step 3, set daily non-negotiables. Momentum loves structure. So now we lock in daily non-negotiables. Non-negotiable means you do it every day. No debate, no negotiation. Just like brushing your teeth. I keep this simple 3 areas. 1, your body, movement, nutrition, mobility. Your body stores emotion, and a stagnant body creates a stagnant life. Even 20 minutes matters. 2, your mind. Reading, meditation, stillness. Feed your mind something intentional every day. If you don't, the world will feed it junk. 3, your business or mission. Sales, marketing, outreach, creation. 1 or 2 actions daily that move the needle. Progress compounds when actions repeat. Step 4, stop making excuses. Excuses are lies that keep you comfortable. I don't have time. I don't have money. I'll start Monday. Monday turns into next week. Next week turns into next year. Here's how you kill excuses. First, name them. Write them down. Say them out loud. Once something has a name, it loses power. Second, question them. Ask, does this serve me? Who taught me this? What happens if I let this go? Awareness dissolves resistance. Third act anyway, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's movement times with times fear. Fly the plane. Step 5, cut your time assassins. Success is subtraction. Here are the biggest time assassins. Notifications, turn them off. Vices, remove friction. Energy vampires curate relationships. Late nights protect mornings. Saying yes, learn to say no. Time is your most valuable asset. Guard it aggressively. Step 6, stack small wins. Belief builds identity. Identity drives behavior. Track everything that matters. Celebrate progress, even tiny progress. And share your wins. Public accountability creates consistency. And your story might be the permission someone else needs to start. Step 7, start today. Imperfect action today beats perfect plans tomorrow. Momentum is like a plane. Takeoff is hard. Cruising is easy. Your job is to get off the runway because fulfillment comes from 2 things: becoming your best self and sharing that journey with others. So here's what I need you to do right now. Write down your 30-day goal, then post it publicly. Commit, because the life you want is closer than you think. You've got this. Just do it. Part 2, the real work begins. Why most people relapse after they start. If you've made it this far, I want you to understand something important. Starting is not the hardest part. Staying consistent is. Most people don't fail because they never begin. They fail because they relapse into their old identity. They start strong. They feel motivated. They get a few wins. And then life interrupts. They miss a day, then 2, then suddenly the story in their head changes. I knew I couldn't keep this up. This isn't who I really am. I'll restart later. And just like that, momentum dies quietly. Not with drama, not with failure. With drift, that's what part 2 is about. Not how to start, but how to become someone who doesn't stop. Because the truth is this: you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your identity. And if your identity doesn't change, your results never will. Section 1, why identity always wins. Let's talk about identity. Identity is the invisible force running your life. It's the reason some habits feel effortless and others feel impossible. Think about this. You don't debate whether to brush your teeth. You don't negotiate whether to wear clothes outside. Why? Because those behaviors are aligned with who you believe you are. Now imagine trying to convince a non-smoker to just smoke 1 cigarette. They don't struggle. They don't use willpower. They simply say, I don't smoke. That sentence is identity. And this is where most people get it backwards. They say, when I lose the weight, then I'll feel confident. Also, when I make the money, then I'll feel disciplined. When I succeed, then I'll believe in myself. But identity doesn't follow results. Results follow identity. The real transformation happens when you say, I'm the kind of person who trains daily. I'm the kind of person who follows through. I'm the kind of person who keeps promises to myself. And here's the secret. Identity is built through evidence. Small evidence. Repeated daily, not motivation, not affirmations. Proof. Section 2, the hidden cost of going back to your old self. Every time you quit, something dangerous happens. Not externally, internally. You reinforce the belief that this is just how I am. And that belief is expensive. Because once you believe something about yourself, your brain works overtime to prove it true. If you believe you're inconsistent, you'll find reasons to stop. If you believe discipline isn't your thing, you'll notice every inconvenience. This is why quitting hurts more than failing. Failure can teach you. Quitting teaches you to distrust yourself. And self-trust is everything. When you trust yourself, action is easy. When you don't, everything feels heavy. So the real goal of the next 30 days isn't perfection. It's self-trust restoration, doing what you said you would do, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching, even when motivation is gone. That's where identity shifts. Section 3, how to design days that don't require willpower. Most people rely on willpower. That's why they fail. Willpower is unreliable. It's emotional. It's finite. High performers don't use willpower. They use systems. They design their days, so the right actions are the default. Here's how you do that. First, remove decision fatigue. If you decide every day whether you'll work out, you'll eventually decide no. So you stop deciding. You schedule, you standardize, you automate. Second, reduce friction. If the habit is hard to start, you won't start it consistently. Lay out clothes the night before. Pre-plan meals. Open documents before bed. Make starting easier than quitting. Third, anchor habits to identity statements. Instead of saying, I have to do this, say, this is what people like me do. Language, shapes, behavior. Section 4, the loneliness phase. No one talks about this. But if you really commit to growth, there will be a season where it feels lonely. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're changing, your schedule changes. Your priorities change. Your tolerance for distraction changes. And some people won't like that. They'll joke about it. They'll question it. They'll subtly try to pull you back, not out of malice. Out of comfort, because your discipline reflects their avoidance. This phase is temporary, but it's necessary. Growth often feels like isolation before it feels like alignment. And if you quit here, you never meet the people on the other side. Section 5, how to handle bad days without resetting everything. Bad days are inevitable. What matters is what you do after them. Most people treat a bad day like failure, so they quit. High performers treat bad days like data. They ask, what caused this? What broke down? What needs adjustment? Then they continue. No drama, no guilt spiral. Progress doesn't require perfect streaks. It requires fast recovery. Miss one day? Resume the next. Not Monday, not next week. Tomorrow. Consistency isn't never failing. It's never staying down. Section 6, why your environment matters more than motivation. Your environment is shaping you, whether you realize it or not. Your phone, your room, your social circle, they are silently voting on your future. If your environment supports distraction, discipline will always feel hard. So you redesign it, clean your space, remove temptations, add reminders. Environment is invisible coaching. And when the environment changes, behavior follows naturally. Section 7, the moment you realize you've changed. One day, something subtle happens. You don't feel hyped. You don't feel excited. You just do the thing. No resistance, no drama. That's when you know you didn't try to change. You became someone else. And that's when life gets easier, because alignment replaces effort. Part 2, closing, becoming unrecognizable. You don't need to announce your transformation. You don't need validation. Let results speak quietly. 30 days becomes 60, 60 becomes a year, and one day people will say, you've changed, and you'll smile because you'll know the truth. You didn't change overnight. You changed daily. So let me leave you with this. Nothing magical happens when the calendar flips. January doesn't save people. Motivation doesn't save people. New planners don't save people. Decisions do. And the most powerful decision you can make right now is to stop waiting for permission to become who you already know you can be. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need more information. You don't need another year to get ready. You need 30 intentional days, 30 days of focus, 30 days of discipline. 30 days of choosing the harder right over the easier wrong. Because once momentum starts, it doesn't ask for motivation anymore. It pulls you forward. And one day soon, you'll look back at this exact month, this exact decision, and realize it was the moment everything quietly changed. So don't just watch this video. Do something with it. Write down your 30-day goal. Commit to it. Start today, even if it's messy. And if this message helped you, if it gave you clarity, focus, or that internal push you've been missing, hit the like button so this message reaches more people who need it. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content that challenges you to grow, not just feel good for 5 minutes. This channel is for people who are done repeating the same year. If that's you, you're in the right place. Final overview. How to actually succeed without burning out. 2026 doesn't need more goals. As we step into 2026, I want to make something very clear. You do not need more goals. You don't need a longer vision board. You don't need a more detailed planner. You don't need another list of things to fix about yourself. What you need is alignment. Because most people don't fail in a year like 2026 due to lack of ambition. They fail because they're scattered. Too many priorities, too many opinions, too many directions pulling at once. And scattered effort produces average results even when you work hard. So this final part is about one thing only. How to move through 2026 with clarity, power, and consistency without burning out or restarting again next year. Principle has shown 2026 is about direction, not speed. Most people enter a new year obsessed with speed. How fast can I grow? How quickly can I make money? How soon can I change everything? But speed without direction is chaos. 2026 will reward people who are clear, not frantic. So here's the rule. Is greater than move slower in choosing your direction. Is greater than move relentlessly once you choose. Pick one primary life focus, one main professional direction, one core personal standard, and then stop negotiating with yourself. Clarity removes 80% of stress. You don't need to do everything. You need to do the right things repeatedly. Principle #2 systems will outperform motivation every time. Motivation is emotional. Systems are structural. And 2026 will expose anyone relying on motivation alone. The people who win won't be the most inspired. They'll be the most prepared. Preparation looks like fixed routines, non-negotiable habits, simple tracking, fewer decisions. When systems are in place, bad days don't derail you. Busy weeks don't stop progress. Discipline becomes automatic. If you design your life so the right action is the default, success stops feeling heavy. Principle. #3 identity is the real game. Let me say this clearly. In 2026, you will not rise to the level of your goals. You will fall or rise to the level of your identity. So instead of asking, what do I want to achieve? Start asking, who do I need to be daily? Not someday. Not when it's convenient. Daily. Because once behavior matches identity, effort disappears. You don't struggle to act in alignment with who you believe you are. That's the shift. And once identity locks in, results follow quietly, then suddenly. Principle. #4. Protect your energy like a strategic asset. 2026 will be noisy. More content, more distractions, more opinions. If you don't protect your energy, someone else will drain it. Energy is produced by sleep, movement, focus, boundaries, purpose. And energy is destroyed by overcommitment, constant stimulation, emotional chaos. People who don't respect your direction, successful people in 2026 won't be doing more. They'll be doing less better. Focus is the new advantage. Principle. #5 consistency beats intensity. You don't need heroic effort. You need boring consistency, small actions, done daily, without drama. That's how confidence is built. That's how momentum compounds. That's how people become unrecognizable in a year. Intensity looks impressive. Consistency changes lives. Final message. Here's the truth most people won't hear. 2026 will not be fair. It will not be easy, and it will not slow down for anyone. But it will reward people who decide clearly, act consistently, protect their energy, build systems, honor their word to themselves. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need to explain your focus. You just need to execute quietly, relentlessly, daily. And 1 year from now, you won't need to announce your success. People will see it.